If you're looking to book a cruise for the very first time, listen, you can't just go into this thing blindly. I mean, honestly, you can't even trust your friend's advice in some cases because everyone is different. And in this video, I have to kind of cover those differences because if you choose the wrong one, all of a sudden you're gonna be like, hey, listen, I am not a cruise person. It's not for me. And 9 times out of 10, it's not because of you. It was probably because of the ship you picked. And so after sailing almost 15 different cruise lines, nearly 100 cruises, we've got a little bit of a skin in the game and we can kind of lead you to which one based on your personality, probably your budget, and the vibe overall. Last year I made a video, best cruises for first time cruisers, ranked by budget in 2025. Got like 300,000 views. So we're doubling down and we're doing a 2026 travel guide for you all. So just know you're in good hands. So, yo, what's up? My name's Griff. Welcome back to another day in paradise. If you're new here, welcome for the very first time. But if you've been here, what's good, baby? Welcome back. So quick note, this video does have chapters ranked by budget so you can see what those options are. I'm going to be breaking down these cruises based on a few categories. We're gonna do ease of experience, value for the money, onboard variety, that wow factor that people are really looking for, whether it's good for families, couples. And I think all 5 picks score well across these 5 categories. And then I'm gonna drop I'd say like an honorable mention or a dark horse. A lot of people aren't really considering when they're thinking about their first time cruise. All right, let's get into it like dojo. All right, so number 5 is Virgin Voyages. And to be clear, this is not a knock at Virgin Voyages because they're in the slot 5. Virgin Voyages is genuinely one of the better cruise experiences that I have been on. The reason why it lands at number 5 is because it's adults only, which means if you're planning your first cruise and you have family and you're trying to bring kids, this automatically knocks your option off the list. But if you're a couple or solo traveler, I dare say it brings you to the top 3. Because if you don't want to be within 50 feet of any screaming children or any kids yelling up and down or running down the hallways, I mean, truthfully, that brings you to the number 1 spot. But listen, here's all the good stuff it's got. No buffets, no formal dress codes, no cruise director waking you up at 8 a.m. on the cruise intercoms trying to sell you stuff or tell you the plans for the day. Every restaurant is full service and it's included in your fare, so nothing's extra on the bill. I mean, the ship's a vibe. It feels pretty aesthetically friendly. I mean, they just had a content creator cruise, so you're probably seeing a lot of marketing about it, and a lot of content as well. And for good reason. I mean, the ship sells itself. It's got tons of rewards. It was in Travel and Leisure. They get a lot of things right. The pricing right now, you know, a balcony runs between like $1,200, $2,000 per person for a 7-night sailing. And like I said, everything is included. You get your Wi-Fi, your dining, fitness classes. And when you really factor in everything that's included on that cruise for that price, it's pretty much a steal. If you're saying, Griff, who do you really think it's good for? Here's who I'd recommend it for. It's best for first-time cruisers that are adults, but really want that elevated feeling within their cruise. You've been slightly skeptical on the traditional cruise vibe with like tons of people, maybe tons of kids walking around. Maybe you've heard some issues about buffets and stuff and it's not your aesthetic. Richard Branson and his team at Virgin Voyages did an exceptional job building, I would describe, the anti-cruise cruise. It really feels like, what I'm saying is Virgin will convert you to cruises pretty quickly. Number 4 is the Carnival Mardi Gras. Listen, I can't get enough of that whole Mardi Gras series in their ships. They've got the Celebration, the Jubilee, Mardi Gras. I think it's their XL class, and they do a fantastic job on those ships. They've got Shaq's Chicken, Guy's Burger. Noah, my little girl, absolutely love this ship. And if I'm being frank and transparent with you, it's a ship I wouldn't hesitate to book again with my family. The Dr. Seuss water park on board, Noah could not get enough of that. We had to pretty much negotiate with her to get her off of the water park to go eat some food. She really enjoyed that place. She had a lot of fun. Pack that with Bolt. It's their roller coaster at sea. They do a really good job for your family on this ship. But what surprised me outside of the family aspect of the cruise, because typically Carnival is heavily associated with like fun, go, party, was the food. They've got Emeril's Bistro, Steakhouse, great cocktails on board. They put a lot of effort into the dining and it really shows. Here's my honest take. It did feel like the ship doesn't really sleep, so that whole go, 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 fun, fun, fun is definitely there. There's just certain little pockets and spots for you to escape that you need to take advantage of. I would describe it as like loud, fun, energetic as soon as you board the ship. And for some couples and families, this is exactly what you're looking for. So you really need to know your energy level going into this space. So the pricing's interesting on this one. It's all about seasonality, but I found anything between $700 and $1,200 for an interior cabin, with some between $2,500 and up to $4,000, depending on your balcony cabin, seasonality, and time you're going. But the savings on this ship compared to other ships, you just gotta weigh your options. So Griff, who do you think this cruise line is for? Well, let's talk about it. I think it's great for that person who really wants maximum energy, great food. They have great food endorsements from chefs like Guy Fieri, Shaq, not a chef, but he's got a chicken strip joint on board, Emeril Lagasse, stuff like that. But yeah, tons of family-friendly thrills, the best value for dollar at sea in the game right now. If this is your first cruise, Mardi Gras, Celebration, or the Jubilee, all solid picks. Now, coming at the 3 spot for me for first-time cruisers, there's a dance with this one. I'm gonna go Norwegian Luna, Norwegian Aqua, pretty much their Prima or Prima Plus classes. Now prices, you can get anything between $850 to $1,200 per person for interiors, $1,600 to about $3,000 for balconies, up to like $2,500 to $5,000 on select suites, depending on the season, availability, stuff like that. But here's where NCL gets interesting for me. If you're trying to break in for your very first cruise and you're on a budget, they have a great budget entry spot with their breakaway class. That's gonna be the Norwegian Encore, Norwegian Getaway, Breakaway, stuff like that. For interiors, you're looking at like $800 per person for the cabin, and I think I saw some going for $1,500 per person. Like $800 to $1,500 per person per cabin. But I really like the Norwegian Luna. I just got off this ship and it's the best NCL ship they've built to date. They got a sister ship, the Norwegian Aqua, and in my opinion, they're so good. The space to passenger ratio is higher than almost every mainstream line. The food quality on board is absolutely excellent. And there's an overall polish to the experience that is worth mentioning. Some key things I think you need to know about the NCL Prima Plus class. Let's talk about it. They got the Aqua Slide Coaster. That's the world's first hybrid roller coaster. Water slide, it goes 31 miles per hour. It's fast and it's fun. I screamed, I'm not ashamed. You got the Norwegian Moon Landing, exclusive ropes course. They got Tea Time, which is this interactive LED screen pop quiz ultimate putt-putt golf experience that keeps score. It's so fun. You got to do that. They've got the Indulge Food Hall, which is this giant food hall on board with a variety of food options, barbecue, vegan, vegetarian menu, a cake and dessert station, Mediterranean food. There's a Latin Quarter. There's so many options inside of this actual food hall. If you're going Norwegian Luna, there's the Elton John show, which is amazing. If you're going to Norwegian Aqua, there's this Prince tribute called the Revolution. That's absolutely incredible as well. If you're looking at the entry point of being on a budget, you can go to the breakaway class. And some of those ships have go-kart tracks on board, tons of water slides, large pools, laser tag. You've got options. One key note, if you grab the free at sea package on NCL, it bundles the Wi-Fi, the dining credits, so especially dining, shore excursion discounts. Without adding that package, everything starts to add up, and that's where the ticket can kind of get a little bit expensive without you realizing. So who's this cruise line for? Great question. I really think it's good for people who want a premium feel to their cruise. You want a more modern feel to your voyage. You're willing to invest a little bit more for a noticeably elevated experience on the Prima Plus classes. I really like the Prima Plus class, if you couldn't tell, but if you're on a budget, you can always shift that attention towards the breakaway class, as stated earlier. I think this is great for couples and great for families. A lot of people recommend it for solo cruises. I've never done a solo cruise on NCL, but I did run into this large solo cruise group on NCL and they swore by it. They all said pretty much 10/10 experiences. Now, number 2, it snuck back in here after reviewing my list. Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas. It really is the perfect weekend warrior. I mean, some of the prices, you got interior, $600, $1,100 per person. You can get a balcony anywhere between $900 and $1,800 per person. Don't let that $1,800 scare you. That's depend on select sailings. You gotta find that specific sailing. But yeah, we've been on that cruise for less than $1,400. Now, it is a giant party ship. They call it the biggest weekend ever on board. I also like the Star of the Seas if you're looking for an Icon class ship. So Utopia of the Seas and Wonder of the Seas would be an Oasis class ship. Star of the Seas, Icon of the Seas, Legend of the Seas, that's their new Icon class ships. Super large, super fun, got a lot going on. Let's talk about Utopia a little bit first. So it's got the 3 and 4 night sailings out of Port Canaveral, and I just cannot overstate how smart this is as a first cruise. You really don't have to take a lot of time off of work. You're getting some of the most impressive ships ever built, 7 neighborhoods, largest water park at sea. You got an aqua theater, tons of like aerial performances, which are super sick. And I think it's an incredible entry point to cruising for your very first time. And same with the Icon class ships, much larger. Instead of an aqua theater, there's an aqua dome. They have a food hall on board, the largest water park at sea. But if it's your first time going on a cruise and you really just want to dip your toe in the water, I am going to steer you towards the Weekend Warrior, the 4-night Royal Caribbean Utopia of the Seas. Less commitment, you don't have to take a lot of time off of work, and Royal Caribbean just gives you tons of options on board. They get a lot of things right, all right? This thing is flopping all over the place. I didn't mean to flash y'all, my bad. Now listen, before I get into the dark horse, we're almost done here. If you are cruising for the very first time, there are some mistakes I need you to avoid. You can watch that video at the end of this one. And if you're just looking for some tips, tricks, things to pack, you can watch that video at the end of this one as well. Let's get into the dark horse. The prices, if you're watching for this dark horse, is anywhere between an interior $1,400 and $1,900 per person. You can get a balcony cabin, aka a veranda, $1,800 to $3,000 per person, or concierge suite. If you got it, $6,500 to $12,000 per person for those 4-night Bohemian sailings. This is a 4-night cruise. Now they do have a 7-day cruise option. You can do interior for $2,000 to $3,000 per person, $2,800 to $4,500 per person for a veranda, or a concierge suite, which runs you $8,000 to $15,000 per person. And that dark horse is Disney Cruise Line. Now, I just want to tell you a quick story here. I was talking to a friend of mine. I was suggesting cruises to him, and it was coming down between Royal Caribbean, Utopia of the Seas, or the Disney Dream. They were looking to book their very first cruise, and he was just going back and forth between like really wanting to get the best experience possible for his family. 2 kids, wife, family of 4, going in to have some fun. And I mean, we went through all the options: Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Encore. We went through the Luna. We talked about Virgin. He's got kids, couldn't do that one. And then he asked about Disney, and my eyebrow raised because I know Disney is an excellent product, but sometimes it's just typically outside of people's budgets. But I didn't know he would have fun. And to my surprise, they ended up rolling with a Disney cruise. And I texted him a few days ago, and he said this is one of the best things he's ever experienced. And as a dad myself, there's something special and magical about watching your family have the ultimate fun on a vacation and having everyone take care of everything for you. They've got Broadway level productions. If you're an absolute Disney fanatic, they've got characters, they've got the princesses. I saw Jack Sparrow. Their Lookout Key and Castaway Key are excellent private cruise destinations. The attention to detail is like no other. I mean, really, you feel it as soon as you step on board, how amazing this ship experience is. Some people would describe it as expensive, but for the right person, it is absolutely worth every single penny. I think this is best for first-time cruisers who are going with the family, are Disney fans, or simply just want their first cruise to be the most magical, detail-perfect experience money can buy. I have no notes on the experience, just notes on the price. But before you book anything, again, watch my 25 cruise hacks first-time cruisers typically miss, or you can watch one of my packing videos. They're both solid. And as always, if you dig the vibes, please subscribe. And if you care, please share. I'm going to see you in paradise. Peace.